All right, we're going to do Transpose the Excerpt. So, I like to use statements rather than intervals when I'm starting out because you don't always know which way the transposition needs to go, and the questions are basically testing which way the transposition should go. So here, when a trumpet plays a C, you hear a B flat at the concert. So if I was to write this in, he plays a C, you hear this B flat. Or this C, and you'd hear this B flat down here. And you can then invert the statement. So to hear a B flat at the concert, you write a C for trumpet. So relatively simple, then we'll move on to some others. Clarinet is the same. Clarinet plays a C, you hear a B flat. Tenor sax is the same. Tenor sax, you play a C, you hear a B flat just like the other two. However, you're hearing the B flat this down here. So the interval is larger. So you're still hearing a B flat, but a larger interval. Alto saxophone, if they play a G, you're hearing a B flat, like so. Baritone is the same as alto, so if they play a G, you hear a B flat, but again it's a bigger interval. So this is a 13th, and the alto sax was only a 6. Horn and F is easy, because if they play an F, you hear a B flat, kind of telling you what you're going to hear. So it's a nice easy one. And then a bit of a weird one, if a trombone plays a B flat, you hear a B flat because it doesn't transpose, but it does change clef for most music, and it's a very common exam question. People love it, even though it's a weird question. Right, what's next? Oh, let's summarize this. So if we want to play the same B flat, so we're getting all these instruments to play the same B flat, it's going to look like this. The trumpet needs to play this C, the clarinet needs to play this C. Because the tenor sax is higher, it has to play the higher C, and then all of those you're going to hear this B flat. Alto sax, this G, baritone, this G, and you're going to hear, let's do it in treble clef, you're going to hear this B flat, and the same with the trombone. So the trombone plays this B flat, and you're going to hear this B flat. So that's how you get everyone playing in unison, not to be confused with playing octave unison. So this means everyone's actually playing exactly the same note. Let's try a few examples, I think. Oh, you obviously need to try and memorize this. All right, maybe we're not going to do examples yet. So if a trumpet clarinet plays a C, you hear a B flat. Plays a G, you hear a B flat. So that'd be one way to simplify it. Turn it into a little statement. You could put it the other way around here, because sometimes you want to do it the other way around. Now here is another way to do it, which a lot of people do, is using the intervals. Again, this is great, but you run into all sorts of problems because you often can't remember which way you're trying to transpose it.
Sorry, were you recording that?
I still am, but it's okay. So they won't mind. This is part of their revision. Where did we get up to? Oh yeah, the intervals, doesn't matter which way you go. All right, you don't know which way you're going to go. Next one is, so this is another way to look at it. Sometimes, well, all the time, music books are written as B flat trumpet. So what they're saying is they're telling you what happens when the instrument plays a C. So if the trumpet plays a C, you are going to hear a B flat. If the clarinet plays a C, you're going to hear a B flat. If the horn and F plays a C, you're going to hear an F. If the alto sax plays a C, you're going to hear E flat, and so on and so on and so on. So that's what they're trying to tell you. So then you see alto sax, E flat. I think possibly that's an easier way to do it, but it's slightly different to what I just said to you then. So there's a few different ways you can do that. Alright, so here I've tried to make some little cheat sheets for you, so you can do it any way you like here. And let's give it a shot. So when you're doing any questions, or even if you're just doing it for your own music, you've really got to pay attention to the question and what they want you to do. So I've tried to make it nice and clear. So write the note you hear when the trumpeter plays a G. So let's put a clef in. So usually if the trumpeter, look at this line, plays a C, we hear a B flat, which is down a bit. So we're going down, maybe we can go down to B flat. So now he's going to play a G going down to a question mark. We don't know what this other note is. So this interval here is a major second. So I've got to go down a major second from G, which is an F, and then I'd write F. This is obviously a bit of a pretend question because you don't have an original note or something, so you don't know if it was this F or that F, that kind of thing. But that's generally how you do it. Alright, again, you've got to read the question. So write this piano excerpt. So this bit is the excerpt, and they're saying this is what you're hearing at the concert. This is concert pitch. So we want to now write it for alto sax. So let's just use this one down here this time. So usually when an alto sax plays a C, we hear an E flat. So that interval is a major sixth. So at the moment we are hearing a C, so we need to go back. This is this first C here. We need to go back up somehow, up a major sixth, so that we hear the C. So upper major sixth is an A. So here we go. So I write my A here. Now there's a few different things you could do here. First off, you might want to transpose the key signature. So this one is in C. So you could put a key signature in, to put it into A major. It ends on C, it starts on C, so it's probably in C. And now you could keep transposing each note by a major sixth. So D has got to go up a major sixth. Stem can go either way on this note. This note goes up a major sixth. I've already done the sharp, so I don't need to worry about the sharp now. The other way to transpose it is just to use scale degrees. So since this top one is in C major, I know this is first, second, third, and first. So I could then just go, well, I'm just going to write the first of A major, first, second of A major, third of A major, first of A major. Something like that. The only trouble with that is you just got to make sure that you then you don't use, for example, this A or this A. So that's just one thing to be wary of there. Alright, that one's done. This is just a little comment that when we're transposing, the biggest problem is not knowing the order of notes. Sounds like a simple problem, but people forget that there's nothing between here when they're trying to transpose. So if you don't really know your order of notes, then it can cause problems. So for the major six that we're trying to transpose, that should be, depending how you count it, I guess, that's going to be 9. And so that's going to, if we started at A, we want to come up to F sharp. And that can be hard to do if you don't play piano or something like that, because it doesn't make as much sense on a trumpet perhaps. So just something to be wary of. Oh, look at this hilarious question. The new clarinet player can't play their part. Write it out for piano so you can show them how it sounds. So this is piano. This is what we're going to hear at the concert. So clarinet, let's do this one over here, is a second. You can see here it's not telling you anything about which direction. So actually, I don't know if I can do this one unless that's a bit of a shortcut. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to do this top one up here. So when a clarinet usually plays a C, I hear a lower B flat. But what I have is I'm starting with the clarinet playing G, and then I don't know what that next note is. That's a G. So I'm going to go down a second. So this one's got to go down a second, which makes this an F. So my first note for clarinet should be F. Put a clef in. Make a choice. Do you want to transpose the key signature or not? I'm going to, because it's a shortcut, so why wouldn't I take the shortcut? And then I'm going to do this a third way of transposing. I'm just going to do intervals between each note. So this is a major third, so I'm going to go up a major third. This is minor third, so I'm going to go up a minor third. And then I've got bored of that, so I'm going to do scale degrees now. I'm going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 2, 1. And now you can see here we've got a bit of a crazy note on the end here. So you could either do it scale degrees, so you could say this is a sharpened 4, or you could just transpose this one here. So you need to go down a second, or down a tone, or down a major second, to, and then you've got to put a natural on it because of the B flat in the key signature. Now you're ready to show the clarinet player how it sounds. Oh, this is a silly trick question that happens in exams all the time. So trombone doesn't transpose, but it does change clef usually. So I put this in here because you'll be surprised at how many people get this wrong. That is the same note. So many people would put that down there. So that is also an F, but it's the wrong F. That would be called, from that note to that note is an octave unison, not a unison. So the rest of this excerpt would be C, A, and D, like that. Obviously, the easiest way to remember, I think, is this is middle C on a piano, but I don't know, sometimes that confuses people. Next one. All right, so this is another classic question where it's kind of like a double transposition. So we're going to have to do 2 transpositions. So first off, we're going to have to try and get a clarinet back into concert. I've not left any clues here for you. Hopefully you can remember. Clarinet is a B flat instrument, which means if you play a C on clarinet, you hear a B flat. So, oh, well, that's handy because the first note is a C. I must have been being kind in this exam. So then alto sax up here, this is an E flat instrument, which means if you play a C, you hear an E flat lower. So we've got to work this out another way. This is a major 6. We want to know what are we going to play on the alto sax so that we hear a B flat. So the answer would be G. So G on alto goes down to B flat. So we've got to start up here. Maybe I'll use another colour. This note here is being heard here on this B flat. So we've got to make sure that the saxophone, we hear the same note. Again, the octave matters here, so we can't write this G down here because otherwise we'd be hearing the B flat down here. I've made lots of mess on this paper now. So what could we say here? I could do this by input. I can say each note is going up by a fifth now to get it to alto. So I could just get everything up by a fifth perhaps, would be one way to do it. So C major going up by a fifth would be G major, so we'll change the key signature to G major. Then we just do everything up by a fifth. I'm not sure if I like that method. That seems like a bit error prone. I think I'd use the scale degrees. That's 3 and 4, and then I come into here and use 3 and 4. I like that method much better. Do scale degrees. Alright, is there another one or not? Are we done? Oh, a little summary table. Most of the time you have to memorize one of these methods. They're not going to give you that. However, often there's a way to cheat because in most music tests or exam they give you a score, and you could, and this has got alto and trumpet. You know, so this question might be on page 4, but on page 25 of the test there'll be a score with all the transpositions already on there for you. So good way to cheat if you'd like to. Okay, see you soon.